Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tomasz Czekaj and I'm Client Solution Technologies at Dell. I'm coming here from Poland, where I supporting mainly customers from Polish market, but for some time I also support team in Romania in case of a client solution product. Today I will have a pleasure to talk to you about our security technologies which are implemented on the OS level and below the OS. Before we will go through the specific technologies, I would like to share with you some details regarding some researches which has been done like 1 year ago in terms of the security. Ladies and gentlemen, last year we had almost 5,000 data branches worldwide which was reported, and it shows the potential of scale, how our organization can be impacted soon by this type of attacks. As a good example, we have, for example, the story of a company from US called SolarWinds. I don't know if you have heard about that. Company who produced the software called Orion, sorry. Is there anyone who is using this software in the environment? Fortunately, no. Fortunately, no. Yeah, in this situation, hackers hacked the SolarWinds environment, and they have just changed a little bit the code of the Orion software. Orion software is very popular in the big organization. This is the tool which is used for the PC fleet management, not only PC but also software and stuff like that. And actually every single customer who did the update of this software created the backdoor for their environment, right? As I mentioned, that this software has been used and it is used by the biggest companies from the market. And what is also very dangerous is the fact that also some public government institutions from the US, from the army, were using this software on daily basis. So this is one example which I wanted to describe you today. On the other hand, we can observe in these researches that the number of ransomware attacks are growing every year increasingly. What is dangerous in terms of ransomware is the fact that recently there is no need to have any technical background. There is no need to have some experience to do such attack. Basically, there is a possibility to buy such service on the darknet. So again, if there is a person who has some plan to do something bad, basically such person can buy such service over the internet. The estimations shows that until 2025, the whole data branches attacks, hacker attacks, will cost organization almost $10.5 trillion. It is a huge amount of money. Of course, in some space there are some different reasons than money, like political, geopolitical one, but most of the attacks which are done are mainly because of money. Someone wants to basically earn some money. The pandemic period and this changing to the hybrid model work, of course, didn't help to IT administrators at all. Almost all of them agreed that it complicates a lot their situation because they don't have full visibility of the machines, PCs, over their tools. What is also very interesting is the fact that people who decided to work remotely in this hybrid model work, they are not going with the security policies which has been established by their company. So for example, if we have a user who take the company PC to home, there is a security policy which require to this user to open the VPN connection and connect to the secure network, which is protected by company firewall. This research shows that users they are not doing that. And this is also another space and another surface where hackers can try to attack our environment. What does it mean for the organization? Basically, it means that the old way how the organization protected their environment is recently not good enough. The antivirus, which until now was installed on the machine, the firewall, was everything what we had in terms of the security. But right now, the new techniques, the new vector attacks, shows that this antivirus is not able to protect our PC on the whole surface. Of course, there is also big problem in terms of the firewall. As I mentioned it, the computers in this hybrid model work has been taken from this secure network outside the firewall, and right now they are used by the people in different ways. First of all, they are not connected to the VPN. On the other side, the people started using these machines for private purpose. They started checking their private emails. They are clicking in different links which comes to their mailbox. They also opening website which they would never open in the office, right? Because they feel safe. They working from home, they feel safe, so they do different things than in the office. What is also showing this hybrid model is that people started connecting to the internet from the different places, not only from secured network at home, but they are connecting to the public Wi-Fi hotspots in hotels, hotel rooms, some coffee shops, and these types of networks are very unsafe, and they are also potential risk. So what is the direction where companies should go? At Dell, we believe that zero trust approach is the direction where such companies should go. Zero trust is a new paradigm which says that we don't trust anyone. We require that on every single step there is a need to authenticate the user to check if this user has permission to that things or not. At the end, the zero trust approach assumes that worst scenario can happen. It means that if there is a person in the company, this person should have an access only to these things which are required to do their job. There should be no access granted for person to the system which will be never used by this person. So, do we already met zero trust? Yes, on the daily basis, maybe not really in the cyber reality, but in the real life scenario, the zero trust approach is from the very long time in practice. Let's imagine the some company. Before we will be hired to the company as a candidate, we are verified by the HR teams. We have few interviews, they are checking our profile. Once we get the agreement with the company, we are getting the badge, which opening the doors in the company. We are getting PC, we are getting credentials to run this PC. When we are going to this office, we have first check control in front of the building, because if we want to get into this building, we have to use our badge to get into. We are going to the elevator. Over there is another card reader. We need to use again our badge to get into the elevator. Elevator is also smart, have another card reader. We need to use this badge again, just to give us possibility to choose the floor which we are eligible to go. As I mentioned it before, not all employees will have access to all of the floors which are in the building. Once we will get to the floor where we are working, we have another door to the office, we are opening using the badge, and finally we are able to sit down on our desk, right? We are starting our operating system, and system is asking us about our credentials, another control point. So during this story, short story, how many control points did we have? In English and hand up. Six. Who was first? Here you go. Yes. 6 control points. So it shows that we already worked in such scenario. What makes Dell devices secured? Basically, we as a manufacturer, the company who produced a lot of commercial PCs, we are trying to protect the whole process of production of these PCs, and actually we are trying to keep them very safe during the whole life cycle. So first of all, we are taking care about design. We cooperate with different suppliers, but we have, of course, special agreements which make that the components which we installed on the platform, on our motherboard, are fully secured. That's the first thing. Second thing is the way how we are trying to protect our data below the operating system layer. We are implementing different technologies below OS layer, which help us to protect this system. On the other hand, once the system is produced, we are able to deliver the goodie, the PC, to the customer exactly in the same format as he ordered. It means that there is full control during the transit, and we are sure that nobody has touched these devices during the transport from one point to another. And last but not least, we have of course some software solution, mainly third-party software solutions, which are eligible to order through Dell, and they are able to come with the device to your office. And of course, we have one more things. We are trying to help customer keep these devices up to date during the whole time. All of these 5 points we called the trusted workspace as some kind of approach which we want to promote. As I mentioned, we have different products. Some of them are products which works below operating system layer. Over here we have Safe BIOS, Safe ID, Safe Screen, Safe Shutter, and maybe not something what is connected to the hardware, but service called Safe Supply Chain. On the other hand, we have also some softwares which can help us protect our data and protect our ecosystem in front of these hacker attacks. We have over here products from the CrowdStrike, VMware, SecureWorks, Nextcode, and Absolute. I'm from Polish and sometimes I'm using, Polish words. When it comes to safe supply chain, we have service called SCV, Secured Component Verification, which gives you a possibility to verify if all the chips which are installed on the motherboard in your commercial PC are the same which are recently in your office, in your building. Basically, we are creating list of all the devices. This is assigned by certificate. We store all of this data in cloud, and after we allowed such computer to connect our environment, we can verify if all of these chips on the motherboard are the same as they were in the factory. That's the main thing. On the other hand, we are also tracking the road of the goodies which are transport from one point to another. We have some services and people who are taking care about that. And in case, for example, the truck will move 50 meters from the road which was planned, then the special procedures are run to verify what has happened with this truck. What was the reason that this truck is not going in the line which has been planned before. Before we will jump into, yes?
A short question. If you're tracking all the parts of a laptop, let's say, and something is wrong with the laptop, making the case of a warranty.
It's corrupted.
Who will replace the part, and how Dell will know that that part was replaced by a certified service?
So basically,
let's put it in
Dell will not know if this change has been done. The customer need to check it, right? If the certificates are the same and the components are the same. This service is sold as a service at Dell. So basically, you are having a possibility to request to service team such problem, and based on that, the next action will be taken.
Okay, after the part is replaced, the software will tell us that it's no longer the original part.
Yes, and in that case, you should go to Dell and tell them, okay, listen, over here we bought such service from you.
Okay.
Right?
It's clear.
We verified all the components, and it looks like something has been corrupted during the transport. There was another question. Good question. Here we go for activity.
This service can only be bought by directly from you as a supplier, or do you have partnership with other resellers?
Unfortunately, I will be not able to answer this question because I'm not a salesperson. I'm technical one,
yes,
but I have also a gift for you. Yes, you can.
You can
Here you
work
go.
through partners, right? It's just like any other product. So it works through our partners.
Thanks.
Just 2 prizes left.
The motherboards must have this slot for the chips already, or can be upgraded like from USB or other way from the older methods, for example?
I don't understand the question, to be honest.
He's asking this service can be added to an older laptop that we already bought,
No,
or just
no,
the
no,
new production
no.
line?
This is only for new products which will be sold from our factory directly to
So I
you.
think the old laptops can be upgraded.
No, because we don't know if, first of all, we don't have probably the list of chips which has been installed. We don't have the certificate, so we don't have, I would say, the place where we would, compare both platforms, right? we don't know which one was the original one.
Right. Can the certificates be forged? So you take your laptop to a service, they replace the part and the certificate so it's legit, but maybe the part isn't?
One more time.
So the certificates for the parts, for the new parts,
Yes.
can they be forged or hacked or, I don't know, changed in any way?
Probably there is some risk, right? Probably there is some risk.
Is there any way to
Today, nothing is 100% sure. Zero Trust says that we don't trust to anything, right? So I believe in that case there are some ways to hack even such systems. We don't have to look too much. I've described this SolarWinds example, and by this SolarWinds case, companies like Intel, Microsoft were hacked. So it shows that even IT companies were not able to protect themselves in front of such attack, right? So I will not tell you today that yes, we are able to protect our system totally.
Okay.
Can I try to answer this question?
Yes.
So, can the certificate be hacked? Yes, anything can be hacked. But imagine the process, right? You need to create a chip that you need to insert in the laptop, physical access to the laptop, when it's already technically in your possession. And also modify the certificate on our server in order to not generate an alert. It's a huge, complex attack. Right?
Yeah.
So it is possible. I put it under very, 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 very unlikely.
Okay.
If I want to do harm to you, I'm probably going to try something else. That's easier.
Another
Sorry,
question?
how hard or how easy is for you to find the stolen laptop? Because this is also a problem.
I will
Sometimes.
have a special foil regarding our third-party software which we can use to find laptop which has been stolen using the geolocalization, but it will be
If you don't have that software installed on your system, then
you cannot.
Can you perhaps tell me something about it?
Absolutely.
I mean, when you're activating like an iPhone or iPad,
No, we don't have such technology yet.
it's connecting to
Yeah, I know what you mean, like these AirTags, right? Which are just finding by all other devices with the same OS.
Another AirTag, finding the big equipment. When you connect the device to internet, based on the components, you know the location, based on the Wi-Fi.
Once you will have absolute software installed, such thing is possible.
Yeah, but you already have all the components that are in the laptop.
Yes.
So basically, that guy or whatever is putting a Windows, putting a new the part of the same for most of the parts. And you
But-
can compare them
Yeah, but it works a little bit different because we as a seller, we as a buyer, we are getting this certificate and we can compare it. There is no specific chips which could help us to localize this.
The process should be started from the user point. It's not something mandatory. I mean, the final user should check this.
Yes, yes,
Exactly that you're doing.
yes. We have to speed up a little bit because I was afraid that I will have too much time, but it looks like we need to extend my session. I'm happy with that. Yes, I started talking about the Dell technologies, but before we will dive into Dell technologies, I would like to describe one more technology which is built in Intel Vipro CPUs. I'm talking about that because everybody, when they are starting discussion about Intel Vipro, they are thinking that this is only manageability and possibility to manage system when the OS is crashed. But Vipro technology based on 4 pillars. One of them is security. And what Intel vPro offers is Intel hardware shield technology. Intel hardware shield technology is a set of microcodes which works on the CPU level, which protects our system in front of some malware, ransomware, or cryptojacking, for example. In Poland, we had such situation where one well-known company which sell clothes had a lot of PCs, and one of the PC has been infected by cryptojacking. Nobody didn't know that every single PC in that environment is utilizing just 1-2% of CPU performance, but this utilization was just earning money for someone else, right? And Intel vPro CPUs has, as I mentioned, some mechanisms which are blocking such attacks. On the other hand, when we are talking about Intel vPro, we have to remember that until now, when we were talking about protecting the data, we were talking about encryption of the data which are stored on the hard drive. Nobody was talking about encryption of the RAM. The Intel hardware shield in the 12 and 13 gen of CPUs has technology called total memory encryption, which encrypts also RAM memory once the computer is started. So there is no way to get into the system. Once the hacker will go to the operating system memory, then they will do everything what hackers can. So I'm talking about that because it's very important. And we can ask, okay, fantastic, we have something what is not able, nobody is almost able to check. Does it work? In February this year, the company from UK, SE Labs, did very interesting check. Basically, they took 4 different devices. One with Intel Threat Director, which is built in Intel hardware sheet, Intel vPro CPU, and they didn't activate any EDR, so any antivirus, stuff like that. Just protection delivered by the CPU. On the other hand, they took another CPU, another machine, they installed their EDR, so the second machine was much better protected. And they created also the 2 additional machines on AMD CPUs, which don't have such technology built into the CPU, and over there the EDR was activated. What is very interesting is the fact that accuracy on Intel vPro machine without EDR was much better than on AMD with EDR, which was activated and running. So it means, and it shows that this hardware layer was much better prepared to find out the ransomwares which were trying to hack these machines. Okay, so right now let's go to the technologies strictly dedicated for Dell. First of all, Dell Safe BIOS. This is the technology which is available on the market few years, and basically what gives us Safe BIOS is the verification of the BIOS image every time when the machine starts up. The technology compares this image of BIOS with well-known BIOS image which is hosted somewhere in the cloud. It's off host stored. What it gives to IT administrators? In the situation when some hackers will corrupt the BIOS, they will get notification in some console that something wrong was done with this BIOS. And of course, they will have full visibility what has been done, because this technology also is doing the snapshot from the wrong BIOS which has been detected. Over here we can do some different steps which can be done after such detection. We can normally run the system, but the notification will be sent out to the user, or we don't allow system to stand up. But it is very dangerous because it may cause some problems, because we will have to roll back BIOS to the version which was well known. So that's the safe BIOS.
I have a question regarding the safe
BIOS.
How is this working? If you are updating the BIOS in your local machine, what about the off-host BIOS?
We are not talking over here about updating the BIOS. Once we will update the BIOS, it means that we have to change the image BIOS, which will be hosted off-host.
And that process is automatically done, or
Yes.
Or it should be triggered manually by the IT admin or something?
So we can configure such technology using, for example, the Workspace ONE console. Over there we have a space where we can put the trusted BIOS image, and every time when we have to install also Dell Trusted Devices driver on the machine. Once this agent will be installed, then there will be connection between this hosted version of the BIOS in the cloud, and there will be the comparison.
The checking is done at the startup of the laptop? Or
Yes.
automatically?
Automatic.
What about
What
if it doesn't have any network connection? Didn't answer my question.
That one is things to buy your side.
I will ask you to come to me after the presentation. I will take a note and I will come back to you with this answer, okay? Because I need to check it. I'm not ready today. Yes?
So many slides telling about Windows users. What about Linux users? Will this technology be available for them as well?
So from this perspective,
I mean, not just the files, but the chip tracking, the location tracking.
as long as the softwares which we offer, third-party softwares, will be compatible with Linux system, will work on Linux, then all of these functionalities will be working as on Windows. But we as a Dell cannot, be responsible for what is supported by third-party vendor software.
So I was just thinking about if they have planned, or if you have a plan to support this.
It's out of our range of, out of scope.
For example, if I have another encryption, for example, McAfee, this encryption is put in BIOS. Then this copies this encryption in cloud.
But we are talking about BIOS image,
Yes.
and it is not encrypted because only the disk is encrypted. The BIOS image is stored in different chip. It is not on the hard disk.
It's in the TPM chip. It's encrypted in the
Yeah.
TPM.
Before this presentation, I been asked to prepare just foils regarding the security, but I decided to add 2 more foils to make this presentation a little bit wider, and I wanted to tell you about 2 softwares which helps keep our devices, commercial devices, up to date. One is Dell Command Update. This is free tool. We have a set of tools called Dell Client Command Suite, and Dell Command Update is part of this Dell Client Command Suite. As I mentioned, it's totally free, and this is the tool where you can easily configure in the way how you like. Basically, you can configure here everything. How often system needs to check for the BIOS updates, where this system should look for the updates, because of course we have over here connection to our Dell.com website, but we have also possibility to create repository catalog where we will put only these drivers which we would like to implement on this machine, right? On the other hand, we can also configure how this system, the software, will act after they detect that there are new updates available. We can configure in that way that there will be just notification for the user, hello, hi, there is new update ready for download, click here to download. We can also ask the software to download the software updates or BIOS updates and inform user and give the notification, okay, we already downloaded a new version of the drivers, please install it. And we have third option, we are downloading and installing these drivers automatically, and user just getting the information, hey, we have installed the updates on your PC, you need to restart it. And over here we have also configured how many times the user can postpone this update, right? For specific period of time. Everything is configurable. What is very interesting is the fact that we can do very fast snapshot from the settings which we created on the one machine as an ini file or exe file, and we can just multiplicate these settings for other devices in our company, and they will start behave like this one, which we configured. So very easy, very fast, and I really recommend this solution.
Do you need a server for this, or?
If you want to use repository catalog, yes, because you need to somewhere store the updates which you would like to install.
This is also free.
Yes, it's for free.
From that server you can push the updates on the
So if you have a server, you are just telling to the Dell Command Update, hey, listen, over here is the repository catalog, use this location and look for the updates over there. And you are also setting up the frequency, how often the system will...
How is the server finding the workstation? Based on the name of the host?
There is a service tag. So the Dell Command Update recognize what device we have over here, right, by the service tag.
Yeah, but from the server in order for me to push on my workstation.
But everything what you have to do, you just copy the updates to the location which is provided in the file configuration in the command update. You don't need to push anything from the server.
It's a pull mechanism, not a push, it's a pull.
Yes. And one more software which is also Dell Command Suite package. It's Dell Line Command package. Of course, you can install just this one which you are interested in. You don't have to install all of them. Dell Client Monitor is dedicated mainly to cooperate with SCCM and Workspace ONE, unfortunately. But what gives Dell Command Monitor is like they providing additional WMI classes to the SCCM. Oh, crazy. Additional classes. Based on that, we are able to verify using short script in SCCM, for example, the settings of the BIOS. So we are able to find out very fast all the devices where the BIOS password is not set up, for example. Or we can find out what version of the driver is installed. The Dell Command Monitor also takes some information from the not only BIOS but also from the sensors, so we can monitor the health of this machine. So I also recommend to do the deep dive into the Dell Command Monitor. Another technology or chip which we offer in our commercial PCs, is Dell Safe ID. And Dell Safe ID, as I mentioned, is an additional chip which is installed on our motherboard. And this chip works very similar to TPM, but it stored different type of credentials. For example, if we have Windows Hello or fingerprint reader, so these credentials are stored on the hardware chip which is installed on the motherboard. We as a Dell have only such solution, or other competitors have only software solutions which protect this data. Safe shutter, of course we have two different safe shutters, LATI 357,000, this is mechanical safe shutter. In 9000 series we have electromechanical shutter, and basically it protects our privacy. Once the computer is on, nobody can watch what we are doing basically. Safe screen, we did a big jump over here like 2 years ago when we implemented intelligent privacy. Until now, safe screen worked like black and white. It was turn off or turn on, right? If it was turned off and someone was behind us, he could read everything what was on the desktop. Intelligence privacy brings artificial intelligence to this, I would say, technology. And thanks to the IR camera, which is built into our laptops, they verify what is behind us and in the area close to us. If some additional person will be detected by the IR infrared camera, then the display will be great. So the person will be not able to read what is on the screen. Of course, we have full control of it. We have our tool, Dell Optimizer, where we can configure the behavior of this tool. Let's go further. That was about the hardware part and everything what is on the hardware below the OS. I would like to tell you also about some software, third-party software, which can be offered with our solution. So, how to position the products which we have in our portfolio? First of all, I am always describing it like a story with home, which is protected or not protected. Next generation of antivirus, we have right now two providers, Carbon Black and CrowdStrike. Basically, this next generation of antivirus is like lock in the door, right? It's just protecting against some attacks. We have also in our offer some EDR and XDR software delivered also by VMware Carbon Black and CrowdStrike. And basically, this is like our surveillance system, like monitoring which we can have in our home. It works like a sensor which checks what is happening on our computer, but not in terms of the data, but in terms of the behavior of some systems. And last but not least, MDR. This is our new service which appeared just a few weeks ago on the market. It's like a system and security company which is looking all the time on our environment based on the telemetry data which are stored by EDR system, right? So let's move to the managed detection. As I mentioned, we have group of people, Dell engineers. This is additional software which you need to buy and activate. You are getting access to the console, and it is working separately to Dell systems. Okay? Yes. And one more thing, which is very interesting, it is a Netscope. I don't know if someone heard about Netscope. Is someone? Because I have one more prize. Nobody.
We cannot.
Okay. So Netscope is a solution which helps us to protect data and services which are run in the cloud. Okay? We are talking about next generation antivirus, but this antivirus works only on the machine. We were talking about EDR. It also checked what is happening on the machine. But what in case we have some services in the cloud and we are start working with this application in the cloud, or we have our cloud where we store some important information. Once the user will take from the cloud the file to its own computer, reconnect from the corporate network, we lose control over this file. Netscope, after installations, allow us to track what has happened with this file, even it has been moved to private cloud, what could be not allowed in the organization. So we have full visibility of what is happening with the files which have been stored in the cloud. And on the other hand, we are protecting also all activities which are done in the cloud, in the different software services. And that's... No. Andrei has special offer today. Thank you very much for your attention.